So, Allah SWT also says, going through the book, that those with complete devotion, they're the ones that Allah will protect from shaitan. Yeah? Now think about that. That's a very high level. And Allah said, they're the ones that Allah will protect from shaitan. So when shaitan said that, so let me just read this straight out, it'll be easier. There are servants over whom Allah's enemy has no control. And Allah said to shaitan, behold, lo, as for my servants, you have no power over them. And when Iblis learned that he would not let his devoted servants yield to him or give him control over them, he said to Allah, then by your might, I will surely misguide them, except for your sincere servants. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and Iblis found his calculation to be true. For they all followed him except a group of true believers. And he had no power over them whatsoever, save that we might know the ones who believe in the hereafter from those who doubt. So you wonder, we might wonder, shaitan got me then. Shaitan took control of me then. Again, look at how devoted you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? Obviously, when we're talking about devotion, let's break it down a little bit. What do we mean by devotion? Practically. Yeah, you pray regularly. You maintain your wudu as much as you can. It's acts of devotion. A mu'min is always, Shaykh Abu Ahmed said, do you remember? He told us, a mu'min is always in the state of always in the state of wudu. He's always in the state of tahara. And if he breaks his wudu, he always maintains it. He goes and redoes it again. You're praying your salah in jama'ah as much as possible, as much as feasibly possible. Being honest in your dealings. Yeah, once, the Sahaba, they used to try and grab Rasul's wudu, his water, they drip from his body or his spit. Yeah, there's even a narration where, in Uhud, where he bled a lot. Yeah, and they collected his blood in a bowl. And Rasul told one of the Sahaba, right, go around the corner and throw this away. The Sahaba went around the corner and drunk it. Yeah, and Ibn al-Qayyim mentions this narration in Zad al-Ma'ad. It's a Sahih narration. And then later on, the Sahaba was like, the other Sahaba found out that he drank it. And they said, what did you do? And he goes, I drank it. He's blessed. So I drank it. They went to Rasul and said, look what he did. We can't, it's haram to drink blood, obviously. And then Rasul didn't say anything. He was silent. He didn't say anything. Yeah? So let him, you did it? Alright, khalas, you done it. Right? The shaitan robs the servant of Allah when he's in in three different states. So if you're going to commit a sin, it's because of these three reasons. Either you're careless, you're heedless, you're passionate about something, you have an extreme love for something, or you have anger. Yeah. So these are the doors through which shaitan makes a believer commit sins. Yeah. And as long as the believer doesn't pre-plan those sins, then Allah will see that as a light sin, and it's very likely that as long as you repent for it, it'll be rubbed off as if nothing was there. Yeah. Heedlessness, so ghafla, right? Passion, ishq in Arabic. Yeah, and anger, ghadab. Yeah, yes, on the top of page 3, fourth line down. Yeah, heedlessness, passion, and anger. Yeah, so any sin that you do, it comes through these doors. Any misguidance that occurs to you, it comes through these doors. So these doors you need to close and keep control of at all times. And right, then he says, Adam alayhi salam was the most wise and superior in wisdom to all the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was the most patient and steadfast. He had the most sabr. Yet, Iblis kept coming at him. Until one day, and Adam alayhi salam, he slipped. One day he slipped. Did he plan to slip? No. Are there people out there who plan to sin tomorrow evening? Are there people out there who plan to sin, constantly every day for the next year to make a bit of money? They plan to sin. Adam and the believer doesn't plan. It happens just accidentally. Just like you might stub your toe, on the table, which is like makes you really angry. I know, but but that's but that's you don't know when it's going to happen. These little things, just it's a slip of your body, it's a slip of your mind. But those things make us istighfar for them constantly, and then have hope in Allah that Allah's forgiven them. Have trust in Allah that Allah's forgiven them. And as long as you have that trust in Allah that Allah's forgiven you, Allah will be shy not to forgive you. Let's say alcoholics. And let's not pick smoking. Let's say alcoholics, right? Someone who's just become Muslim, but they're still addicted to alcohol, right? Yeah, it could be reasonable to say they're not going to get it off. They're not going to go off it tonight, right? And the scholars generally mention that there should be a plan in place, a long-term plan. Yeah, maybe a few weeks, a few months. Depends on his condition, of him slowly weaning himself off. Yeah, because one of the evidence is because Allah weaned the Sahaba off the alcohol like that over a period of years. Even though Sharia is, we know it's haram, you tell him it's haram, you don't do it, right? But if someone's got a plan and you slowly wean them off, that's better than if you just say no, don't do it at all, and then they find that too big of a deal to stay away from. Then they think, I can't deal with this. That's a law I just can't follow, so I'm just going to keep drinking. And it happens so many times. Yeah, people think that sin is too big for me to keep away from, so I'm just going to, I'm just going to keep making it istighfar and keep doing the sin. Keep making it istighfar, keep doing the sin. Yeah, rather than having a plan in place. There's a book there's a little green book in the dua book. It's called Duas from the Quran and Sunnah. It's a little green book by Darus Salam. Right, it's like £2-3 in the shops downstairs. You should get it. Just reading through those du'as that the Rasul himself made, from the hadith. It's powerful stuff. You couldn't make this stuff up. You and me could not make up a dua like that. It's so comprehensive. And it's ajib. You're like, whatever was in the deep depths of my heart, it's just been like manifested in that dua right now. Right? I couldn't have said that dua any better. Right? And that's in English. In the Arabic, obviously, it's a lot more eloquent. Right? And memorizing du'as is important as much as possible, and especially du'as of Rasulullah, because they were wahi and Allah taught him those du'as because they're the ones that have the greatest impact. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for his servant, he will open the doors of tawbah for him, so repentance and remorse, and make him feel humiliated and dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here he's saying, Ibn al-Qayyim, and going on from that as well, is that if you want the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you should be no different in mind to the person who has nothing. You should be who has no food, who has nowhere to stay, who has no family, who has no money, who can't even walk properly, who maybe can't even go to the toilet properly. You have nothing. You have no blessing. Sorry for using those words. You feel that you've got, you feel that you're so humiliated and you're so downtrodden. Yeah, but that's the state that you should make dua to Allah to. Yeah, you say, you give thanks for the blessings He's given you. Yeah, but you go in a state, of like a miskin.
Bring your hands up, so as if you're begging.
Yeah.
Begging to Allah.
SubhanAllah. And Ibn Qayyim says it here as well. And he said that servant should completely humble himself, completely abase himself. So think that there's nothing in the world lower than himself. Nothing in the world lower than himself. And wallahi, bros, if you just think about yourself, no one else knows your sins better than you. If everyone wants to know, every single negative aspect of your personality, your life, you're going to feel like no one's going to be my friend. No one's going to want to speak to me. I'm not going to have anyone in the world except who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the only one in that state that I can still know, that I can still turn to him. Because everyone else in the world, if they really knew who you were, except for a few people in the world, they would turn away from you and you'd be alone. You'd be a very lonely thing. And to be honest, and that's why Ibn Qayyim says, you forget that. You forget how low you are as a human being. And so when you make dua to Allah, you need to be honest with yourself of who you are. When you debase yourself, when you see yourself as low, you're not putting on a face. This is who you really are. It's just that you've forgotten because you're wearing nice clothes. You live in a nice place. You're surrounded by secure people or secure facilities. You eat nice food, so you forget that you're actually nothing. I think about our brothers and sisters that in Burma right now, and you read the articles, and I just think they're laughing now. Those people that have been killed, and we're sitting here thinking about our bills to pay, right? And thinking about, have we got job security? Am I going to get that promotion? What am I going to eat tonight? They're laughing, and we're getting frustrated about. We should get frustrated about what's happening there, but we forget sometimes. They're so happy right now. They went through a little bit. They're thinking themselves, I would happily go through that hardship again. Happily. And we forget that, so we should be happy for them because they have been successful. We assume that they died upon Iman, yeah? And we should be worried about ourselves. Sorry, Sheikh. ذلك الفوز الكبير.